Good morning. Happy Friday. We might have to adjust this. I wanted to find a good spot outside. I like doing my lives outside because it's light, it's bright, all the things, but the sun is in my eyeball. So good morning. Next week. We'll find a better spot next week. So good morning. Welcome to the first of me returning to regular live videos. I feel like I haven't done them since the butterflies, when I did more regular live things. So we're back. We're back. There's a new theme, and let's dive in. So I'm Erin Copeland, and I was chatting with my husband Jerry this morning, and he said to me, he comes up with the best quotes. He said, "Caregivers don't wear signs." So he said that because I was talking to him about a massage client that I saw yesterday, and when they were talking to me, they said, first they walked in, they said, "I read your book, and you really need to promote it more, because I had no idea that you were actually a caregiver." She had seen my book and my handbook in the massage studio before, but thought it was related to massage, which makes sense. And so she said, I mean, if I had known, I would have read it a lot sooner, because it was so honest. And she said, I felt like I was holding your hand through the whole thing. And so we had a really nice chat, and I was sharing that with Jerry this morning, and that's what he said. He said, caregivers don't wear signs. And so we never really know who is in need. Some people are just super private, and even if they are going through this caregiving journey, they don't maybe really want to talk about it for a whole laundry list of reasons. One of them being that they might just be super private. And when I was in the middle of my caregiving, the first time, round one, I was very quiet about it too. I didn't talk about it. I didn't know how to talk about it. I wasn't in a support group. I kept it all. I kept it all inside. And it's one of the reasons traditional support groups didn't work for me, was because I did feel private about it. I didn't really want to air all my business. I didn't want to feel the need as a person who is just, I'm an empathetic person. And so I have that pull to want to try to help people. And so I didn't feel like I could be in a support group and receive support and support everybody else. It was a really challenging thing for me. So I just opted out. I just said, nope, not doing it. And so if you're new here with me and just figuring out I wrote a book about caregiving, I'm Erin Copeland. I am a speaker. I am an author of the best-selling book, Welcome to Caregiving, The Things Caregivers Never Talk About. I'm a licensed massage therapist for 12 years now, and I am the creator of the Caregivers Carabiner, and that is the membership I am starting for caregivers that offers tools, resources, some gentle accountability, and a level of support for caregivers. And so in these weekly lives on Friday mornings, I'm kind of do a little recap of the week. If you're on my email list, you already get the Hump Day newsletter, which is, it's just a Hump Day newsletter. I try to keep that fun. Sometimes it gets a little more serious. Sometimes it's super short. Sometimes I write stories. But it's just a little window into my life. And so these are meant to be like under 15 minutes. That's my attention span. I'll be live here on Facebook. I will repost on my YouTube channel. If you didn't know I had a YouTube channel, I've got a YouTube channel. It's at Erin_Copeland. Erin with an E, Copeland no D, so you can find me there. And I'll probably pop the videos on Instagram as well. But you can find me live here every Friday morning. And so jumping in to this week, as a little recap, I sent out the newsletter Wednesday, and in it I announced the grand opening of the Caregivers Carabiner, and it's going to be on May 22nd at 7 o'clock p.m. And that's going to be our first live meeting together as a group, and I'm really excited about it. And if you want to learn more about the group, then drop me a comment, tell me more, and I'll share the link with you. We can have a little chat. There is zero obligation, just for being curious. Cross my heart. I am not here to pressure you, especially in the caregiving space. You're already going through so much. But if you're just curious, like, wonder what she's up to, just tell me. You want to learn more, I'll share it all with you. And so I shared more information about that in the newsletter. I picked the date, so I needed to just pick a date. This is what happened. I needed to just pick a date, and so it was just like the big Price is Right wheel, like it just spun it in my head, tick, 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 tick. Okay, I'm gonna go with May 22nd. And then I went back and looked at the numerology, because I'm not a numerology expert, but I get curious about all these things. And so turns out when you do all the math, it's the number 8 in numerology, which got me really excited, because 8, the infinity symbol, super fun. And I looked up just kind of the meaning of 8, and I wrote it down here because I wanted to get it right. And one website said the best way to sum up this number is that the secret to change is to focus your energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. And I was like, oh, that's like magic, because that's what we're doing. We are not, we might be working through some old stuff, but we're really moving forward. We're learning new things. We're taking some skills that maybe we already know and tweaking them a little bit, looking at them a little different way to really help soften this caregiving journey. And so I was just super excited to see that. And then, it just represents, 8 represents balance, cycles, opportunity, sustainability, observation, again, infinity. Like, I was just like, oh, it's perfect. And then the 23rd is the full moon. And y'all know, I talk about it in my book, but if you don't know, I am a self-identified lunatic, very affected by the moon's energies. So I was like, yes, all that full moon energy is going to be with us on the 22nd. And so super excited about that. The full moon in May is the flower full moon, and that's because it's at the peak of spring. So it's all about growth and blooming. And I was like, hello, we're going to be blooming. In the group. And I got really, really excited. So I definitely stuck with that date. And then as a result, I kind of backed in the introductory things I wanted to offer you guys. So next Wednesday at 7 is going to be the first just introductory call. It's completely free. It's going to be on Zoom. It's going to be an hour or less, because that is also really important to me in the space I'm creating, that like nobody needs to sit through a 3-hour webinar. I'm not going to do it to you, because you are a caregiver, you're doing things, you're trying to get help, you're trying to get support. Like, when you want the message, you need the message. So we're not going to be messing around. So that's going to be next week. The following week, May 1st on Wednesday, I'm going to start talking about the 3 pillars that we work through regularly in the Carabiner. And so the first one is awareness. The week after that, we're going to be talking about feelings. The 3rd week, we're going to be talking about movement. And then we get to the 22nd, where we get to be live together. And I'm very excited about it. And when I say live, it's a virtual. And it's going to be on a platform that's actually off social media. I have a whole theory behind that. We'll talk about that in one of the intros, but it's going to be off social media and off Zoom. So everything's all going to be in one platform. So you only have one place you have to go to find all the resources, because that's really important to me. And so again, curious about any of that. If you're curious about becoming a founding member, curious to know more about what we're doing, just drop in that comment. Tell me more. And the second part of my newsletter that I talked about is the things I do when I get overwhelmed is not the right word, but when I am on the cusp of something big, I tend to distract myself. I find something to distract myself. The sun is really hot. We're doing something different next week. Oh my gosh, it's not even summer yet. So in the past, I find a new hobby. I find a new hobby that becomes like all consuming. And before my two big moves, it wasn't really a hobby, but before I moved from California to Texas and then Texas to Florida, in the middle of those moves, when I should have been packing and doing important things, getting ready to move, I chose to roll coins because I decided I couldn't move with loose change. And it took me hours. I didn't go to one of those coin machines and like figure it out. No, I hand rolled coins. Before my book launch 2 years ago, I started raising butterflies. I decided I'm going to get some butterfly plants to attract some butterflies. Well, I chose milkweed, and I honest to God, cross my heart, I didn't know that milkweed was a host plant. I just hadn't made that differentiation. And so all of a sudden, yeah, the butterflies came, which is amazing. Like within 30 seconds, I had a butterfly. And it laid eggs. And then I had caterpillars. And then I was like, I can't let the caterpillars die. And it turned into this whole thing. I bought enclosures. I was feeding them. I was like it was very consuming. And so this time, and I don't do this on purpose, it's just I'm compelled to, and I'm going to get into the reason why I think I'm compelled to in just a second. This time it's sourdough bread. So I don't know if any of you guys have seen the Blue Zones series or read the book or any of the things, but basically this gentleman researched for like 25 years different areas of the world where people live to be 100, and he studied like what they do, how they live, what they eat, their activities, all of the things, and then analyzed to see what things overlapped. Well, in the food section of that, sourdough bread is like a really big thing. And so I've been obsessed with sourdough bread, and I decided that I needed to make my own. And so I've been researching sourdough starters. I finally found one that I wanted to buy. I linked it in the newsletter. So it's an untested starter, but I still linked it. So if this is an adventure you want to go on with me, drop starter and I'll in the comments, and I'll send you the link of the one I got, and we can just play, because that's the other thing that we're going to do in Carabiner. We get to play. We get to play. We get to be human. We get to feel the feelings. But we get to enjoy life. And so we're starting with sourdough bread. And what better way, like what better thing? I felt like I get to make the starter bloom, like the blooming full moon, like all that, whatever. I connected it all because it's all connected. So that was kind of the week, and that's what I've got coming up. Again, the upcoming schedule, I'm going to be here live every Friday morning. I'm going to say 9 o'clock. We're just going to do it 9 o'clock. I think I'll not be in the sun because I think I'm going to melt away, but Fridays at 9 I'll be here. The introduction series to the Caregivers Carabiner is going to start on Wednesday, April 24th. If you want to just participate in those webinars, you're welcome to. They're going to be free. Just drop in the word webinar and I will add you to the list so that you can get those Zoom links. If you want to learn more about the Carabiner itself, that membership, drop in the words "tell me more" and I'll send you that sales page. If you want to know about the sourdough bread, drop in the word bread. I'll send you the link. And remember, caregivers don't wear signs. They don't wear signs. I am Erin Copeland. I am